Welcome to Real Love, Real Stories TV and podcast, a platform for sharing love stories and for finding hope. I'm Kanu, I'm the host, and you are listening to episode 11, and this is part 3. So in part 1, we got to hear how they met, and we got to hear how they connected in a really deep, meaningful way. And in part 2, we got to hear how they make their relationship, their long-distance relationship work. And in this part 3, we get to hear how she put a ring on it, how she proposed to him. So question for you, ladies and gentlemen, if you were in a relationship, if you are a lady, would you propose to your boyfriend? And for the guy, what would you think about that if your girlfriend proposes to you? How would you take that? Enjoy. So where are you in your relationship right now? Are you, looking to move forward into your engagement? Okay.
Yeah, she asked me.
Yeah, I put a ring on it.
Yeah, she asked me.
I had to put a ring on this.
Okay, so can we talk about that a little bit?
So, okay, when was it? 2 years ago, his eldest daughter came home and we were on Skype together and she says, "Dad, why do you have all these engagement catalogs all over the place?" Is that what happened, right?
It was engagement catalogs. I had a couple of different ring manufacturers.
Oh, okay. And he's like, "Shh, don't say anything." So I knew I had a ring coming, right?
So, but you were talking on Skype and she didn't know that you were on the phone and she just said that out loud?
She was just being a kid and not thinking like I was on Skype or anything.
We're always on Skype. I mean, it's almost literally 24/7. We sleep on Skype. So, we go to bed together. We wake up together. So, I mean, it's to not know that she's on Skype. It's more rare that she's not on Skype than she is.
Yeah. So she kind of blew up the spot. I don't know. I think she was just a kid.
I think she got excited.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I see.
So I knew there was a ring coming. So I waited. And I waited. I love you. And I waited and I waited. And then I was like, what is going on in this relationship that I'm not? Maybe something's wrong now. Maybe he's not asking me for, I don't know. But I didn't want to keep asking him about it because at that point, I'm just pressuring him to ask me. And that's ridiculous in my book, right?
Right.
If that's happening. And my patience, as he'll say, is not really there. I think I have a typical New Yorker's patience, right?
Okay.
So
you got till the end of her statement.
So I waited a few months, though, several months. I waited several months. Resentment.
Did you want to get married though before?
Oh no. So when we first started, I was clear that I was not getting married again. I had just gotten out of my marriage sometime before that, and I didn't want it anymore. I didn't see the reason for commitment on paper.
Right.
It was just empty and meaningless for me at that time. I was waiting and getting more resentful because I said, what am I don't want to ask him about it because I don't want to pressure you about marrying me. It's just awful. Who wants to pressure somebody into marrying you? That's just, at the end of the day, I would never feel like he actually wanted to. I would just feel like he did it because I was pushing it. So
to shut you up.
Yeah, to shut me up. And I didn't want to have that feeling in my marriage. So I ended up saying, I don't understand why I'm not asking him myself. If I really want to be married to this man, if this is for me, then why don't I ask him? Mm-hmm. And I went through the whole process of, people are going to say something or look at me differently, or, I'm going to be the guy in the relationship, which was a battle that was going on in my head. I'm like, why does that mean I'm the guy in the relationship? Why isn't that me being a woman asking for what I want and having a voice in my relationship? So I asked him. And it was as easy as we were just laying in bed and I said, will you marry me? And he said, yeah, that was it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And that's what I love about that. I mean, because it is not, the norm in terms of like how the man and the woman sort of proposal. And that's what I love about that is that you asked him. And, it's, oh my God.
And it was simple and not overstaged and not overthought, and it was pure, just like my love for you. That's it. It was simple. And
I mean, the whole point of the man asking the woman is that it's based on archaic principles.
Right.
Basically, women were livestock. It was basically a man asking another man for his daughter, but then it was, what the father, how much he was going to get paid, or how much the suitor was going to get paid.
It was a transaction.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's based on an archaic principle. And the thing is, Jenny she is very, very much a pro-woman, powerhouse, Wonder Woman, hence the, everything about her. I mean, I don't know if you got your bracelet on, but she wears a Wonder Woman bracelet all the time. I mean, that is her. She is Wonder Woman. But at the same time, she's also very, I hate to say feminine because, again, it kind of makes it sexist, but she's able to be a powerhouse and still be sensual and a gorgeous, gorgeous woman. And it's actually changed my views on what feminism is. And I mean, I'm a feminist now. I've got two strong, and I've always been, because my goal was to raise two girls to become women that don't need men.
Right.
That we choose to be with a man because they choose, not because they feel they need.
Right.
Yes.
And Jenny is all of that. And I think her asking was just, she actually asked me afterwards, she's like, do you feel I took some of your manhood? And I said, no, if my manhood was wrapped up into you asking me a question, then I've got stronger issues that I need to work on about being a man.
And that's the piece, really. It's my concern is not being over here. My concern is having him feel less than, which is so interesting, of not taking that away. And at the same time, if that took anything away from him, it would have me question the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because then I couldn't be everything that I ever wanted to be in order to make him feel good about himself. Does that make sense? Like I feel like as a woman, I have to give up something in order for the man to feel like they're the man in the relationship. Whereas, no, you get to be the man in a relationship because you want to be whatever man you want to be in the relationship. And
I think a manly man could be a Mr. Mom.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
a man. I think a man could be, a stay at home. I don't think it's wrapped up. I do. The part that I struggle with as far as my manhood in this relationship is primarily when she's going through something and I can't physically be there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because you're so far apart.
Because I'm beat my chest. I'm, as she calls me, her silverback. I'm the guy that I want to take care of and protect, and I can't always physically be here to do that, and that's hard. But I mean, I get to just sit back and realize she doesn't need me to protect her always, that she can do it, and it sucks.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the fact that she asked me. I don't think that ultimately takes anything from me. And if somebody else feels it does, well, that's on them. Excuse me. They're the ones that assigned, that a man has to ask a woman. They're not my life. I think that's so archaic. It doesn't even have to be a diamond ring.
Yeah.
And why does it have to be a diamond ring? It's just, we're the ones that assign meaning to things. And I think her asking me is just as important as if I was to ask her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. There's some people who, still think that, a guy, should ask the woman. But when I heard about that part, I was like, you know what, why not? And it actually poses a question to me that if I see a guy that I'm interested in, why don't I maybe tell him that I like him?
Right.
Because very much I'm still stuck in this place of, I want the guy to approach me.
Right.
Well, everybody wants to feel the wanted part. Everybody wants the romantic book where the guy comes across on a cloud of rose petals and says, "Would you like to dance?" or something. Guys are scared.
Yeah.
We're just as scared.
You'll find that out whenever you try to approach a man and say, "Hey," you can finally get the idea of what they go through. Because when I asked him, I was nervous, even though I knew what his answer was going to be. I quickly connected to all the men in history who ever had to sit there and ask somebody to marry them, because it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking, and yet we put the onus on them, and we silence ourselves from our wants and our needs and our desires. And it's a zero-sum game there, right?
Why does it have to be one or the other? Why can't it be both? Why does she have to give up being a woman for me to ask her? Why does she have to give up any power? Why can't she have the power to ask, and I be strong enough in who I am to allow her to have that power?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that so much. For me personally, with my personality, I've been told that I am confident, and which I guess is a negative thing when it comes to men, because I seem like I'm the stronger person in the relationship, which I am totally not. But just hearing what you're sharing, what's to stop me from talking to someone and just say, hey,
Right, absolutely.
I noticed you and I like you. Are you single or something?
Absolutely. I always heard that I was intimidating from men. Men that I would be out with, you're really intimidating. And it took me my first reaction to that would be, okay, let me dim myself a little bit in order to fit into whatever you would like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until I could actually connect to the part where it's okay that I'm intimidating to you, because then obviously you're not the right one for me either. And so if you're intimidated by me, that means you won't be walking next to me, because you need somebody lower in your standards, right?
Right. Yeah.
You to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
So that is what I would say. Don't diminish yourself, or don't be apologetic for who you are to anybody, because whoever is good for you is going to raise the bar to where you're at.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's been like my thing about, I'm intimidating, I'm this, I'm that. And so, but anyways, I am who I am. I am confident, but when it comes to love though, I'm completely different, because I always wait for the guy to approach me. But that's why I love hearing about your relationship, even though you didn't approach him at first, but you knew that you wanted to be with this guy, and why not ask him? Honestly, This is 2018, and it's not like way back from whenever, whoever said guys are the ones who are supposed to propose only.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's written in any.
We're talking 5 years ago. It's still, I saw for the very first time, I think it was a Zell's commercial where they had about a woman, or I think it may have been a Jared, but it had about a woman asking a man to marry her.
I do.
Last week or 2 weeks ago.
It's the first mainstream deal I'd seen on it, and it's still taboo.
Yeah, when I went to go look up how to do it, was there a right way? Do you get him an engagement ring? Do you not get him an engagement ring? There really was no set course to take. And in that space, it was also really cool because you could create whatever you want. So we are surrounding ourselves with these confines of how something needs to look. And we need to get this size rock and this kind of ring, and it needs to be down on one knee, and it needs to be spectacular. Whatever ideals have been placed in our heads, that's actually not true. Right. None of that is true. We don't have to do any of that. There's no law saying that if you don't, you're going to jail or the woman's going to say no. There's no laws. So you can do whatever you want. You want it to be a giant sapphire? Great. You want to get your grandmother's ring? Great. You don't want to get a ring at all and you want to use tinfoil? That's good too.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really matter. It can be anywhere you want it to be. It's just whatever your love means to you. I think any of that should just match.
It's everything's meaningless to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the only one that signs any type of meaning. So, I mean, again, you could spend $10,000 on a ring. That ring's actually, it's pointless. There's no meaning to that ring except for the fact that, you spent 10 grand on it.
So I did get him a ring. I got him an engagement ring, and the engagement ring is a Buddhist proverb. It's a spinner prayer ring, but basically, it talks about how it's empty and meaningless. The way that you see the world is the way that your heart is. So you view the world the way that your heart views it, right? So the ring itself is saying it's empty and meaningless. So you apply the meaning that you want to it.
Right.
So
I like that.
Such a cool, what a perfect engagement ring. All of this is empty and meaningless, and the meaning I'm applying to it is I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Mm-hmm. And so
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's why it could be a ring pop.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That you can get at a grocery store, because that has as much meaning in any relationship as any ring you buy.
Yeah.
From whoever.
It's gonna taste better.
Yeah. The thing is, at the end of the day, you're the only one that assigns what that ring means.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Or that action means.
I like that. So you gave him the ring, and then Tommy, did you get Jen a ring, or how did that?
Nope. She still doesn't have her ring yet. Actually, the process behind that was we had a ring. I was making payments on it. I had it picked out, and we this was before this is actually before she had asked me. I had this going, and then she's like, "Hey, I want you to talk to so and so. I want to get my ring from here." I go, "Oh, okay."
My local jeweler, because I figured I could save him a couple of shekels, but my patience level.
Right.
So we got rid of that, and no, she has not gotten her ring yet.
Which is very funny, because when I say I'm engaged, do you know what people do first?
Where's your ring?
They look down on my hand.
Yeah.
And so it's such a great conversation starter, because I'm like, no, I asked him. Take that one.
And then they're like, what?
And thing is, even if I was to ask her, why does she have to have a ring for her to be engaged?
Right.
Because the commitment's not to the ring. The commitment is not about the ring's for show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because when I look down, I'm like, okay, so they're looking to, my automatic go-to is they're looking to judge.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They're looking to judge because they want to look at the ring, so they want to see You could tell a lot off of a ring. People do.
Mm-hmm.
They tell a lot off of a ring. That how big is the rock? What does it look like? Oh, he must be wealthy. Like there's a lot of judgment that goes in that. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't know how to comprehend not seeing one on a hand. And so it's interesting to see their face when they look down. It's the first thing they do is they always look down at my hand. I'm like, there's nothing here. Yeah, so it's interesting. Definitely.
Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground from long distance relationships to, connecting with your partner while being intimate to, kind of switching what people call the norms of the woman proposing, which I love so much. I mean, your whole love story to me is just amazing.
Thank you for having us on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it gave us a chance to kind of reminisce. And
actually, this is perfect for your day before you leave.
Thank you.
So we can sit here and all smiles. That's really sweet. We're cute.
You are cute. You are very cute.
But yeah,
you are a beautiful couple. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do you have a love story? Or do you know somebody with a love story? If so, shoot me an email, kanukayi@gmail.com. Please go to my YouTube channel, Real Love, Real Stories Podcast, and subscribe. And also follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Real Love, Real Stories. Till next time.